How are you, Matt?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. So we're excited. We have a lot of people in here, and I must confess, even though I did my undergrad in Wisconsin and there was a curling team there, I know very little about curling. So just tell us a little about what it is.
Sure. I mean, it's a really fun game. You might have seen it in the Olympics. You saw it maybe in person there, or met some curlers. But every 4 years, Olympics come on. We get to watch this quirky little sport, and for most folks, you don't think that you can do it in outside of Wisconsin or Canada or wherever. But we can do it here in LA, and that's how I started. I started learning the history about it, and it's a Scottish sport, has its roots back on the frozen lochs in Scotland. The oldest curling stone, the oldest mention of it is a stone they found that has a 1511 year etched into it. So this has been around for a few hundred years. And then when the Scots brought it over to North America, I think the oldest club in the United States is Detroit. And then Canada's got tons of old clubs there. They brought it over. They kind of perfected all the indoor ice making, better temperature control, new equipment technology, and then it became the sport that we see today that then people buy for Olympic gold for. So it's got a lot of rich history, a lot of rich traditions. So part of playing it is you're playing the game, you're playing the sport, and then when you're done, you're hanging out and socializing with your opponents. So it's kind of a really hard time for us curlers too, because we're stuck at home and not getting to play, not getting to see our friends. And people, one of the things we do is they're socializing called broom stacking. And one of our friends here have been doing some Zoom meetings for that and calling it Zoom stacking. So it's kind of fun. People are making do of this moment and still trying to be social. But it's a really interesting sport and game that we play.
Wait, I had to learn. This is amazing. I love this Zoom stacking. What is broom stacking? What is that?
So it's a tradition of apparently it's an American thing that's used mostly, but because some Canadians seem kind of confused by that term. But it's where when we're done playing, the lore says back in the old days, you're sweeping the ice with these brooms. You're done playing, you toss them in a pile by the fire, melt the ice off, and go have a drink and hang out with the team you just played. So it's kind of just that the social aspect of the sport, and just the sport. If you haven't seen it, or you may even think you see it, it's that one with the big stone, the 42-pound stone that you slide down the ice, and then people got brooms. I have one back there, two of them back there, that people will use to sweep and kind of adjust the shots as you play.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine just picking up that 42-pound stone as well. That's probably a workout in itself, just trying to pick it up and put it on the ice.
Yeah, luckily, for when you play in a regular curling facility, back in Canada and Scotland, most places, they're just there on the ice. So you never have to pick them up. You slide them around. It's actually really easy. When we do it here, we have to take a hockey arena, and our stones are sitting off to the side. We have to go bring them and carry them on and haul them over. It's this whole bucket brigade of bringing all these stones over. But it's the kind of things we do because we enjoy the sport so much.
Oh, that's amazing. So tell me more about yourself. You don't have a Scottish brogue, so where are you from?
I do not. I've been born and raised here in LA, native Angelino. Living, working, studying down here my entire life. Then I got into curling when the club started here, when Hollywood Curling started up here in 2008. And it just took me on this journey, and then what kind of ties into the ScotWeek in Scotland and why I'm so excited about this venture you guys are doing is because I went and decided to go and get a master's degree at University of Glasgow in Scotland. So I had spent some time there, me and my wife, and we just fell in love with it, kind of reconnected with some Scottish ancestry that I started learning about recently too. So it was a very kind of magical time and fun time to be there, and I have such great memories of it. In fact, we were supposed to be flying back from Scotland today originally, but all of those plans, like most, have had to be postponed. But we still make do, and But yeah, I just have affinity for that country and its people, and made so many good friends there and good memories that I love to bring whatever I can back here and try to like bring some of that with us in curling and just day-to-day stuff.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. And we were chatting on the phone a couple of days ago just to prepare a little bit for this. So tell me about Curling LA, and you guys have a new rink that you're planning on building, is that right?
Yeah, so Hollywood Curling is our club. We've been playing on the ice rinks around the city for about 12 years now. And it's fun, but it's challenging because we don't get good ice times. It costs a lot. The quality isn't great. So me and some partners started on this venture a couple years ago to create our facility here. So we wanted to get a facility that would be all curling. So think bowling alley with ice kind of idea, and that would host our Hollywood Curling Club and have just like world-class curling all the time. So we've been embarking on this venture for a while. It's now more pressing than ever because one of our ice rinks that we curl at in Valencia decided to shut down for good, and so that we lose a lot of capacity there. Even though we play in other places like Pasadena and Palos Verdes, the most people were going to Valencia because best ice conditions and the best time and the good location. But we lost that, and so now we've been working on this project. Now we have the extra impetus to try to get this done. So we're really close to finding a place, and we got a lot of pieces together, financial pieces, operational pieces, a lot of that stuff. We're just trying to get locked down that location so when this is all over, we can be up and running and welcome everyone back to curling and socializing and kind of getting that respite that we all, from being inside, that we all kind of need. So that's the plan right now. But we're starting to roll out our website. It's www.curling.la. And our social media, you'll go to our Instagram page right now, and it's very sparse because we're just kind of starting to put this out there and get all these pieces together. But someone asked right there, how can we support you?
Yeah, that was my next question.
I think we want to just get people to follow us, so we know when we do events and come to our events. But then in terms of the operations side of it, we're looking for partners. There's investor opportunities. There's restaurant partner opportunities that we can talk about and figure out some ways to bring a lot of businesses together to make this a really kind of multi-functioning building that can host a lot of events and a lot of people and really kind of fly when it gets going.
Absolutely. And I know just on the phone we talked about you doing a curling event for ScotWeek in September. So that would be amazing to have. And now that we have the sister partnership with New York Tartan Week, it'd be almost interesting to do kind of a scrimmage match between New Yorkers and LA or Angelinos, or Americans versus Scots, or I don't know. It'd be really, really fun. Something to think about.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, there's definitely curling out there. We have friends who curl up in New Jersey and right across the river and in Ardsley, just up the road. And in Brooklyn, there's a curling facility in Brooklyn too, that we do like an arena ice. And so that could be really fun to kind of bridge those two together, have a back and forth, a little cup, like that could be a really fun idea to expand on just, because one of the things I was thinking about for ScotWeek is doing like we host like learn to curl events, what we call them, where people can come in and try it, get instruction, learn the game, play a little bit, and just have a good time. Just a quick little intro, and most people love it. Do a lot of team building events. So if a company is looking to just like bring your team for an outing or birthday party, we do a lot of those kind of events, and we're hoping to do more when we have the facility. So I was hoping that when that week comes, we can find a day that night and then invite everyone who's interested in ScotWeek to come out for this Learn to Curl and participate, learn this. We learn about a lot of the traditions, the fun, drinking scotch and the Scottish, the tartans that some folks might wear, and really kind of just jump all into that, and it'd be a really great tie-in.
Absolutely. And something that we can do too is for our first event for ScotWeek is ScotCon on September 25th. And that's our all-day business networking event where tons of industry leaders and business owners come in and chat about what they're doing. So that would be really amazing to get you there, and maybe you can find some synergy and some partnerships with people that can come on board to help with the curling arena that you're trying to build and build up the organization.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. I mean, I think there's we got a lot of great ancillary curlers that we work with that like have won Olympic medals or otherwise it's really about the game, and so we can like bring in the big guns in for something like that to really talk about the sport and do some like higher level conversations, and as well as me and the rest of the team who are putting this project together here locally, we can definitely speak to a lot of that because it's a new what we're doing. Building an ice rink is not new, but for curling, with the sport that people still don't quite know and is still growing, it's a big unknown for a lot of places. So we're just trying to put it out there, show it's just a really great sport that really brings all people in because it's great 8 to 80 sport. Kids and adults. I played in a match in Canada in November, and the gentleman who I played against, he has been curling for 63 years. That's just how long he's been playing. And so I don't know how old he was when he started, but it's clearly much older than that. So he's been playing for a long time. We do events with Triumph Foundation and Angel City Sports for wheelchair curling. It's a Paralympic sport, so you can adapt it. If you can't get on your knees and slide, you can use a push stick. So it's very adaptable. Anyone who wants to play can play, and you can play all intermixed. So if we had a league night, Tuesday night league night, we could play in a team. Someone in a wheelchair, someone who's retired, a student, a father and daughter can partner together. There's lots of ways to play and connect with that. So that's what makes it really interesting beyond most other sports, is because the limits are there's very low limit barrier to entry. And it's just a matter of getting on and learning. It's a couple hours to learn, a lifetime to master, but that's kind of the fun of it, right?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yes, I will definitely be playing. I will be very not good at this, I have a feeling, but I will give it a try because it sounds like an amazing organization, what you guys are doing. And I see a lot of people think, Marty 1971, I want to try. Yes, absolutely. I want to try. Loyalty 9, I'm Angel City. Amazing. And somebody had a question earlier. Oh, it's from Sophie. Where does your Scottish ancestry originate from?
So the best I can tie it back was my great grandfather who came over and settled in Pennsylvania. He's actually a whiskey distiller. I found accounts from him in the Whiskey Rebellion. Apparently he was the one that was paying the taxes and got everyone pissed off, and then that's where all the issues started. But it listed him as the Scotch-Irish descent, and obviously Gamboa is not a Irish name. It's a Spanish surname, but on that side, it's just Scotch-Irish. And then when you get back into that from the mid 1700s, it's really hard to find a lot of the records. The name spellings are all kind of, it's not a common name, but it's probably misspelled. The family name would be Cadu. So there's a lot of variations of what it would have been. So I hit lots of dead ends back there, but I know that it kind of comes from that Scotch-Irish tradition. And then just funny thing is I met a half-sister that I didn't know I had a couple years ago. And one of the things we both bonded over right away is our love for Scotland. She has this affinity towards it too. And we went, our entire lives without knowing that. So it's kind of I think it's something that's kind of ingrained in you to a certain level, right?
Absolutely. And it's funny, whenever I went to Scotland for the first time, I was in Edinburgh, and you just feel it pulsing through your blood of, wow, this feels like home, but I've been here before kind of thing. Yeah.
When I lived in Glasgow, it's it's nothing like LA in the physical aspect. Although now with the rain this weekend, it's been feeling like I'm in Scotland, right? But there's just that the heart of the city and the pulse of the city felt very familiar to me. and I was able to just dive right in, and it felt like home. So like when I was there, when I first got there, I got homesick for LA, and when I came back, now I get homesick for Glasgow, even though, especially when it's raining right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I feel the exact same way. Were there any other questions that I missed? I'm not sure. Met you guys at a Triumph event. What's the Triumph event?
So the Triumph Foundation is this great organization that works with folks with mobility issues, spinal cord injuries, generally wheelchair bound or various mobility issues that they put sports events on for other needs assistance. And Andrew Skinner, the guy who runs, it's just amazing, inspirational guy. So we get excited every time we get to do something with them. We've done an on-ice wheelchair clinic in the past, and what we do is we have a floor curling setup that we take with stones that have little ball bearings that you can run on a floor, or we have a platform, and we take to the wheelchair sports festival. So while people are learning about like wheelchair basketball or the obstacle courses or hand cycling or any other kind of events, we also show that you can play curling in a wheelchair. And not only can you play it in our league, you can potentially, if you want to, go to the Paralympics, and there's lots of opportunities for that as well. So we've been working with them for a few years, and it's just been great. So inspiring every time we get to go to that. Like, I try to make sure we get to that event. So I was extra bummed too. That was coming up this month, and we're supposed to be there for that, and they had to obviously postpone it too. So we're getting a lot of the big events postponed, but obviously we know it's for everyone's health and safety, and once we get back, it'll be really exciting to be back out there again.
Wow, you guys are amazing. I had no idea that you're doing so much work with the Paralympics and working with different nonprofit organizations and helping the community out. ScotWeek, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're designed to give money back to our community and to charities in both Scotland and LA. So I look forward to ScotWeek just growing incrementally so that we can help you guys out, because you guys are amazing. We would love to support you monetarily, to support you with anything that we can. So that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it'd be really great, because I think the more people we bring into this is the more interesting it becomes, right? Like, it starts out fun when it's just, it's 30 people in a league you're playing, kind of all come from similar backgrounds in the city, but then because you all kind of get that inkling for the sport, then as we start reaching different groups who don't know about the sport or think it's something they can't do or whatever, when they realize they can do it and how much fun it is, they come into the fold, and we just start bringing all these different perspectives and different, ways we can see how other things work. Like we can, the team dynamics, I think, can be very interesting when people start coming into play. And so you get maybe a lawyer who's, the boss in this day-to-day life, but then he's playing lead to this college kid who's been skipping for a few years, right? And so now the power dynamics have changed, but there's this respect for the game, so everyone's able to kind of play and learn from each other. And you meet people from so much different parts of the world, the country, and North America and Europe and everywhere. So it really broadens this perspective. And so I just look back at the past 12 years and the places I've been and the people I've met, and realized that my whole worldview is a little more richer for now, having seen a lot of these medalized people through curling who I might not have otherwise met, and it kind of burst my little Hollywood bubble at a certain point, and that's what prompted me to go back to grad school to study a different field. And so it's been really it can be a very transformative experience, because you start expanding horizons just beyond the game, just for the places it can put you.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. So how do we only have about 3 minutes left, but how do people join? Do we just go to the website and say, I want to sign up for a club, or what? Is there age brackets, or is it, how do you?
Right now, of Hollywood Curling, you can go to hollywoodcurling.org to look at whatever program we have. Right now it's nothing, because no one's doing your programming, but you can get on our mailing list there for when we start curling again, when things open up. We'll be in Pasadena and Palos Verdes. So you can get on the mailing list, and you can express your interest. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can follow those places. Then you can follow this place, Curling LA, We got curling.la is the website. You can sign up for our newsletter there. So whenever we have updates for our progress, you can be involved in that. Then it's our, again, all the social media places, curling.or_LA. And then that's the ice rink portion of it. So we got the club, the operations. They're going to run our tournaments and leagues and all that sort of stuff. And the facility is going to run a lot of private parties and learn to curl, public kind of events that'll help kind of keep it going, keep the sport going, and allow everyone to kind of flourish in the spaces that are work best for them. So we got that multi-pronged aspect, and as we go out to more events, we can bring this floor curling to events and show people what the sport is at certain places, public places that can really use that interactive element to it. So if you follow all those places, join those mailing lists, then whenever we have new programming, you'll be ready to go when we get started.
Fantastic. Goodness. Well, thank you so much. I'm just going to do a last plug. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us live for Tartan Day. We're so excited to celebrate with New York Tartan Week and ScotWeek today. If you haven't already, please follow ScotWeek's YouTube channel. It's ScotWeek on YouTube. It's very easy to find. And we're raffling off for 2 people. So once you enter, we're raffling off, or not raffling, but we're picking 2 winners tonight at 7 Pacific time. You get a chance to win a Wee Box. So if you haven't looked it up already, earlier we had the founder of Wee Box on. It's a beautiful box full of handmade Scottish goods. And we're also picking a winner for a bottle of Balvenie whiskey. So go to YouTube for ScotWeek channel and follow us. Thank you so much. And Matt, you are a gem. You are a light in the world. Thank you so much for joining us today, and love what you're doing. And thank you so much.
Well, we'll finish this off with a little toast now.
Oh, that would be dram. Oh my gosh. I haven't started yet, but maybe I'll have one with you. Here we go. All right. All right. Happy Tartan Day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care.